Hi folks, Fabriano £130 studio paper. It is a practice paper. Fabriano produce a range of great papers, but this is the one for practicing or studio paper. It's not an easy paper to use, but it does things heavier artist quality papers don't. And that is lift out with a plastic card, which is a great technique. Right, okay. I've just done one for Patreon, so I'm going to do something similar. I quite liked the idea of it. Bit of a thumbprint. You can see I've got some new squeezed out Payne's Grey. I picked up rather too much of it in one go, so I didn't want to clean it off the palette because I can use it. Now, you know my palette: cadmium yellow pale, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, which I don't use much, light red, which I do use a lot of, ultramarine, burnt umber, don't use a lot of that, Payne's Grey blue tints, I don't use that very much, Payne's Grey, and my favourite colour, burnt sienna. Burnt sienna with, it's just a dream. It's Cotsman Winsor & Newton paint, and a lot of burnt siennas are much lighter than that, and I don't use them. I just stick with my lovely Cotsman student colour. It's beautiful. So let's just get some stuff dotted around here. Go into the corners, and we'll have a bit of a blue sky. Pull out the loose hairs. I'm always pulling hairs out of this one now. I'll put a bit of that. Get a bit of a cloud. Okay, well there we are. That's the first layer. We'll dry that. While we've dried that, you never know how it's going to dry out, and it really is as simple as that to do a sky, or that sort of sky, in impressionist watercolour painting with a hake. It takes longer to dry than to paint, but it's done now. But don't muck about when it's wet. It's you can't take liberties with it. There's about 2 minutes spell by the first wet. I wet the paper all over to start with, and how long you can put extra paints into it before it goes cauliflowery. That's the best way I can explain it. You've all had it, but I've done thousands of these, so you might say I'm a bit of a slow learner. But right, now let's put in a bit of a background of a mountain, because they seem to be quite popular. Let's a bit of alizarin. The alizarin is just about solid, so I'll take a bit. I just don't use it. It's a very weak colour in watercolour. Right, let's now keep your main mountain away from the centre of the painting. Put that down there. Okay, right, so that's the mountain. I'm going to dry that, and then we can crack on with the foreground, or the middle distance and then foreground. Right, let's do that. Okay, I've got a thing about marsh grass. I just love painting it. I just love texture in watercolour, period. It's always great to paint, but you can't paint it with just individual strokes. You've got to use a brush that will give you a multi. Frank Clark's brush is great for that. It's great for just pushing, and you get all these hairs, they separate, and you get all these lovely effects. I'll show you that as if you have seen it many times before, but I want to get a foreground coming out here, a bit of an island or something like that. So a bit of Payne's grey, not Payne's, yeah, a bit of Payne's grey, a bit of burnt sienna. So let's coming up here, bit of yellow. Just using up that Payne's grey. Bit of sienna in here. That waterline. Now I've done loads of these. A bit of green in it. Right, look. A little bit greener. Okay, so we've got the reflections in. Right, okay, now we've got some nice green on this island or peninsula. We'll work our way along that. Oh, we need to go just a little bit further with this. Brush is too wet. Just try the brush and just get a little bit of a break between those two there. Okay, so that's just a bit of wind ruffle. All right, so a bit of green, yellow, plenty of yellow, plenty of Payne's grey, and just come up here. Going to be an autumny feel to this one. Got some autumny colours on there now. Bit of dark around here. Oh, I guess real good dark in here. Right, now get the card. Oh, that's wet. And Okay, when that's dry, I'll just strengthen up that bit of bushy stuff underneath the trees. Probably overdone it, but it's just under it. Bit of paint. Here I'm going to use the medium hake. You've got to judge the amount of water that you've got in your brush, because the hake holds an awful lot of it. Okay, let's get some trees coming along there from the top of this. A little bit of green on there as well. It's not all autumn's not all about browns. Oh, that's a bit heavier. Right, okay, now. Right, bit of scraping up. Just a little bit of sparkle, but it's, as you know, it's very easy to overdo it, and I overdo it all the time. Right, now we want some on the back, on that, the hills, mountains, or whatever. So a bit of Payne's grey, bit of blue. Ooh, too much. We'll just drop them in, just straighten that up a little bit. Give a bit of distance. It's hard just to get that. Okay, now what we're going to do now is a bit of dry brushing here. So I'm going to give that a dry. Okay, now we're going to do a bit of dry brush now. Get the big hake back, pull out the loose hairs again. And where's my palette? Take a bit of limpid colour across here. Right, now that is broken water. That would not show a shadow. Sorry, a reflection. That's my excuse. Right, now what we want now is some birds. The birds, as always, they just link the sky to the land. Okay, well, so I'll give that a dry because I want to sign. Oh, it does look a bit bare down here in this corner, but I'll muck about with it. What I'll do, I'll show you the Frank Clark's brush. Holds a hell of a lot of water, so just want the grass and the colour. There, that'll do. That's a touch of Payne's grey. Ooh, touch. Okay, now we'll sign it. Right, I'll put it in a mount for you and have a look at it. So we straighten up your horizon. Well, there we are. So that's my view to be getting on with. Hope you like it, folks. Thanks for watching and enjoy your weekend.